Today is Tuesday, February 17, 2026. I'm Tom Worth, and I wanted to talk a little Texas politics and Stephen Colbert and the party of free speech. Yes, Donald Trump's GOP blocking an interview on Colbert Monday night. Texas is a pretty big deal politically in terms of representation in D.C., number of congressional representatives. But in terms of senators, we only get two, just like every other state. And there's just been no way around the fact that Texas's two senators are always going to be Republican. It's been Ted Cruz, it's been John Cornyn. Ted Cruz is always the more susceptible one. He's extremely hated by people on both sides in Texas. But Texan Republicans are going to vote for the Republican candidate. Why? Because they are scared of which toilet a transgender person might use in public. That's seemingly their number one issue and always has been. This year, we have Cornyn up for re-election. And if you're in Texas, you see that all Republicans vote as being Trump's biggest supporter. Trump is really popular, I'm not going to say in Texas, but I'll say among Republicans in Texas. They love Donald Trump in Texas if they are Republican. So all Republican candidates have to say is, hey, I'm Donald Trump's biggest fans, and I will continue and support all of his policies. In fact, I will be even more Trumpian than Trump. It's basically what Republican campaigns look like in Texas, and it's nauseating, and I hate it. But that's what they are. This time around, Cornyn's a longtime senator in Washington for Texas. He's got a challenger, and it's Texas State Attorney General Ken Paxton, who is as dirty as it gets, even for Texas politicians. Even Republicans in Austin were ready to throw him out, and he's just so corrupt and has abused everything. Even the Republicans were all wanting to throw him out. However, the day of the vote, on a weekend in Austin, some last-minute thing happened, and almost all of the Republicans in the legislature in Austin voted to not remove him from office. There was a whistleblower lawsuit from back in 2020. Senior aides who reported Paxton, his own aides reported him to the FBI in 2020, Ken Paxton, State Attorney General. Looking at you, Pam Bondi. They alleged he abused his office to benefit a political donor and friend. The judgment in April 2025, a Travis County judge awarded the whistleblowers $6.6 million because they were improperly fired. So Paxton appealed the ruling, then dropped it. The Texas legislature is responsible for appropriating the funds to pay this judgment. Thank you, Ken. I'm sure they won't be pulling that out of their own GOP pockets down in Austin. I'm sure it will come out of my pocket one way or another. Anyway, this guy is running in the primary against John Cornyn on the Republican side. And this is pretty crazy. He's really plugged in still in Austin. That's where he's been, Ken Paxton has, for a while. So in terms of Republican support in Austin, he knows these people way better than John Cornyn does. I think there might be a fight there. Cornyn's a little bit ahead, I believe, but that actually might be a fight. The thing is about Cornyn and Paxton is they will get down in the mud against each other and do the Democrats' dirty work for them. Now, on the Democrat side, I'm getting to the Colbert thing. It's actually on the Democrat side that Colbert was going to interview James Talarico. He's down in Austin as well. He's a state politician. And then you have Jasmine Crockett up in D.C., who is a congressperson for Texas. And she's running in the primary on the Democratic side against James Talarico. These two are both really good at what they do. They're both amazing speakers, orators. And if you saw her performance in the Bondi hearing last week, you appreciate her skills. And then Talarico, really a Bible thumper down here, but he completely believes in church and state separation, as do I. You should if you believe in American founding principles, and he does. And he really lays out the cases against Republican corruption and crimes extraordinarily well down in Austin. He calls it to their faces when they have congressional hearings down in Austin about things. He's really logical. He's really, his argumentation is perfectly calm and under control and dispassionate. And it's just, I don't know. I think either of these two would more than hold their own against Paxton or Cornyn. And they don't seem to really dislike each other. So hopefully it won't get too nasty here in the Democratic primary. I don't know who would have a better chance at winning the Texas race for the U.S. Senate here this fall. I think Talarico would, because if you're talking about needing to pull Trump voters over to your side, I think he has a better chance at that than Jasmine Crockett does. I think both of them will do the Democrat side very proud. I think all the Democrats in Texas are going to vote for either Crockett or Talarico. I think you need to pull more Republicans over. I think Talarico has a better chance of doing that. With the fundamentalists, with the evangelicals, he can speak their language, but in a way that makes sense, and in an authentic, a truthful way. Unlike the Republican side, Crockett's just good for getting you excited about things, getting you hyped about things. I don't know who's going to win that primary. Colbert had Talarico on his show Monday night. And the Trump administration got involved with this talk show, which, by the way, is not a news organization. It is a talk show. The Trump administration already got Colbert fired last year, but he's still allowed to keep his job through May. So what Colbert said, he was supposed to be here, but we were told in no uncertain terms by our network's lawyers. He's on CBS, remember. That's the formerly legitimate news organization that is now fully Trumpian. He says, we were told in no uncertain terms by our network's lawyers who called us directly that we could not have him on the broadcast. That's what Colbert said. Then I was told in some uncertain terms that not only could I not have him on, I could not mention me not having him on. This is your free speech Trumpians, right? Telling you all this. You can't even talk about the guy we're not letting you have on. And he continues, and because my network clearly doesn't want us to talk about this, let's talk about this. So he kind of gives you some inside baseball onto what happened and the broadcast networks and equal time. That's what Trump's cronies are claiming, that this is an equal time violation where news networks have to give equal time to people running in election races. And we have the early voting for the primaries starting like now. I think it starts today here in Texas. So Talarico has a primary, and you really think that this is Trump wanting Jasmine Crockett to have an equal chance against Talarico because he's so concerned about her? No, he does not want Talarico to win this Democratic primary. He knows what I think I know, which is, and again, this is no knock on Jasmine Crockett. I think she's great. I love having her in Washington in any capacity. I love that. But I think if you're talking about winning a statewide race, which no Democrat ever wins in Texas, not for decades. If you're talking about winning a statewide race, you have to pull over some Trump-supporting Republicans. That's just the math. There's not enough Democrats to do it. You're going to have a full-on revolt among South Texas Hispanic voters. Absolutely. They've already turned on him. That's not going to be enough. You're going to need more Republicans turning to the Democrat side, and I think Talarico has a better chance of making that happen. That's just what I think. I don't know. I'm happy whoever wins. So that's Colbert and that's Talarico, and that's why you could not watch it on the air last night, and they couldn't even talk about it last night. But Colbert did post it online, and I haven't watched it yet. I know it's going to be great. I love Colbert. I think most of you do. I've seen Talarico many times. He's very well spoken. He's pretty young. He's pretty unknown, but he's got a real shot in this, I think. You can watch that interview online. I will do so. The Republicans are trying to say, and they did this with The View too, that these talk shows are news organizations, and therefore they are subject to whatever rules the Republicans want to put on their freedom of speech and their equal time and all of that stuff. So, okay, that's what I have for now. We'll keep our eye on this. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the comments from the Munich video last night. A lot of international comments. I always love learning more about how things are going over there and what the thoughts are over there. I only see the American media here and then whatever I can find online. So hearing from people on the ground over there, I love it. So please keep it up, and I appreciate you all helping me stay informed. All right, we'll talk later. See you. Bye.